Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everybody, if it's Saturday where you are. Right, the Pat Tillman Award thing, Harry. In short, I would say Harry has got the message. Dimwit as he is, which apparently is his biggest fear. That's what he said in his book. The irony. The guy's biggest fear is being thought of as stupid. He got the message. Now, I know lots of people have done varying commentary on these awards. What interested me was his speech, also his demeanour, his body language. I've been watching this guy since the day he was born, and I was a kid myself then. So you kind of get used to them, members of the royal family. You get used to seeing their off days, their good days, bad days. A lot of what I've seen of Harry over the years is arrogance, a lot of arrogance. It's an accident of birth, isn't it, really? So it's not like he's actually got something to shout about. And even worse, he just sort of dissed it all, dumped it all for apparently Meghan, who was, dropping to the floor in tears. So there's a lot to analyse. Now, his speech, recognising Pat Tillman's mother, Mary Tillman, recognising that, saying things like, this isn't for me, this award, this is for Invictus as a whole. Trust me, if there had not been the petition and the massive backlash in the build-up to this award, it would have been a very, very different speech. Trust me. If we had a time machine, went back, no one had kicked off about this award, we would be watching him. Oh, he'd be up there. Meghan would have gone up there with him, grabbing the microphone. It would have been really different. What I saw is a guy who has figured it out, finally. Now, let's not give him too much credit, because it only took him about 5 years to get there. This is the trouble with people like Harry. And then when those kind of people finally, the penny drops, by then it's too late and all the damage is done. And they're like, oh shit, I've met these kind of people before. Another time that I saw this was that ridiculous curtsy that Meghan did. Now, I remember at the time there was a lot of backlash and people saying that he was laughing and joining in. No, I could see straight away at that time, because I've been watching the guy all his life. I've been watching all of them, all of my life. He did not like that fake curtsy at all. He obviously doesn't have the cojones to have said to the silly cow, we're not putting that in the Netflix thing. So he wasn't quite there. And with the Pat Tillman thing, he still isn't quite there. He cannot man up to this woman and say, back off, stop pushing me around. But he's getting really close to losing his temper with her. That's what I saw. Her grabbing his arm, hoping to be pulled up on the stage with him. He clearly turned his head. He revealed his full crown. And I can only imagine him saying, get off my hand, fuck off. This is for me. Or, I've agreed to do this. I don't think he even wanted to go to those awards. I think because he couldn't buckle up to her and say, no, I feel he was saying to her, this is the last time I'm doing this kind of shit. You are making a fool of me. Well, he's doing a damn good job of that himself. I really felt that, and I think you're going to see some fur fly in the not too distant future. His demeanour was down when he held the award up. He's not full of joy. He's not full of lovingness. Now, the other thing is, when I was watching it, I thought there's loads of cheering going on. Right? There's clapping, cheering. But normally when people make that kind of a noise, they open their mouth, don't they? Like, yeah, cheer. It's not like this. Now, you go back and look at that footage. I've looked and looked and looked, and I can't see one single mouth open. So where were the cheers coming from? Oh, is that all faked? I'll bet you there are celebrities and PR companies across the globe cursing Meghan and Harry, because PR have been getting away with these kind of tricks, fake awards, fake ceremonies, but they've always done them so subtly that a lot of us, well, me, I went along with it and thought, oh, okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not cheering this particular celebrity or person, but I guess everybody else likes them. I must be a lone wolf. Whereas Meghan and Harry, Meghan typically, has gone so over the top, so hammy, that even dumbos like me get to look at it and think, hang on a minute, there's something funny going on here. The people, I mean, Serena Williams' sister didn't even stand up. And there were other people next to her didn't stand up. Ashley, Samantha's daughter, urging people to stand up. I mean, it came across as really fake. And Harry himself really gave the game away. One thing I will say about Harry is he has a very open expression. What Harry's feeling, you see it on his face. Normally it's petulance, anger, arrogance. If he's on something and he's happy high, everybody can see it. He is really an open book. His face gives him away. And none less than the other night. That's what I feel. I feel that he felt he had to acknowledge the Tillman family. He had to say that about Pat Tillman's mum. Oh, God, he had to liken it to Princess Diana as well, didn't he? Oh, good God. He never stops dragging her name, does he? Never. He had to say, this award isn't for me. It was full of cringe embarrassment. I'm not quite sure either why Serena Williams needed an outfit change. She had at least 2 different dresses on. What was it? A really, really long ceremony, like that went on for days. I mean, what? And I didn't like her speech. I thought it was cringy. In fact, the whole thing came across as cringy and just almost making a mockery of the actual subject matter of what the message they're trying to get across. And they're trying to recognise and give credit to people who have given sacrifice. And it was just too glitzy, too yum, 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 yum. And the fake cheering. Oh, my God. And now I'm looking at the audience thinking, I bet they're fillers. I bet they're extras. They ran an ad, extras needed, just to pack the audience out. There are puff pieces saying everyone's talking about what Meghan was wearing. I don't care what Meghan was wearing. I think that she's got a condition, right? The best thing Harry could do is have a room wherever they live where it's got a red carpet, and when she walks down the red carpet it trips off sensors to give like sports mode flashes. And there'll be an award at the end of the red carpet, and she can go back and forth, up and down, as many times as she likes. He could fill it with mirrors on both sides of the room so she'll see her eternal reflection in both directions. He needs to do something like that because that will be way cheaper than all these fake awards. And as I say, a lot of celebrities must be thinking, brilliant, now I've actually got to do something good in the world in order to get accolades, because thanks to Meghan and her hammy acting and her over-the-topness. But I do think the penny has finally dropped. My God, I've waited and waited for years for the penny to drop with this guy. And he's in an untenable position now. That's it. He's finished. He has sealed off, literally. He's burned all of his own bridges. He's sealed off every avenue of hope in sight. I don't know which way the guy goes from here. To outer space, maybe, or a deserted island somewhere. There was a puff piece saying that there was a suggestion they were going to go on holiday to a deserted island. I think that's a very, very good idea. But keeping things in proportion, they're not, it's not like anybody hates them, like wishes harm on them or anything like that. Which brings me to the next subject, because I was quite shocked to see some of the comments about this guy, what's he called again? Gavin Plumb, this obese guy that's just received 3 life sentences. And I'm seeing some weird comments on the internet. Firstly, I had no idea Holly Willoughby was that reviled and hated that people actually think that this guy just did hurty words. I mean, who was it who coined the phrase hurty words? I'm sorry to mention it, but I mean, where is he now? It astonishes me that people think it's okay to conspire to kidnap, rape and murder right? And they call it something like hurty words and say, oh, he'll be out next week. That guy's never going to see daylight again, trust me. He's not a healthy man, for a start. He's not even going to make it to a parole hearing, and he is not going to be let out. All this bollocks about the Prime Minister's going to let out dangerous villains is just, that's lynch mob territory, and we all have to be careful. We don't get pulled into lynch mob territory with Harry and Meghan, just believing bullshit. We have to trust our own eyes, our own ears, and do our own research. And I mean, hurty words, God's sake, so I feel I do have to point this out for the benefit of anybody out there who thinks it's okay. If you sit down with somebody and you plan to kidnap them or rape or murder, that's called conspiracy too. It's a criminal offence. It's against the fucking law, and it always kind of has been. So it's not a question of the guy was obese and couldn't climb out of bed, let alone his own flat. The point the judge made was that he was in touch, he was recruiting people on the internet, other lunatics, to actually go and fucking do this. So, yes, he deserves a life sentence. Yes, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. I mean, if we're at this point where there are some humans who walk amongst us who don't understand this shit, right? Even going back to William the Conqueror, and before him, murder was a fucking crime, okay? It's illegal. It's illegal to do it. It's illegal to conspire to do it. You can't do those things. That's not just trolling, that's not just hurty words, and there are real life consequences for that kind of shit. I say that for what it's worth, just to keep shit in proportion. Harry and his wife are an utter joke, as far as I can see. I mean, they're getting ripped apart, and rightly so, by their critics online. I don't know how they're going to silence the entire planet. I think they'd be better off just putting some earplugs in their own ears so they don't hear it anymore. And I long for the next South Park episode, but I'm not sure Harry needs it. Maybe Meghan does, but as I've said for a long time, I believe with Meghan it's actually a mental condition, and she doesn't see the world the way we all see the world. I think she's crackers, for want of a better expression. Anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions for the day. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And I really don't want to see things like the Prime Minister's going to let every fucking criminal out of prison, because that's just bullshit. And anybody out there who says that kind of crap, that you need to put them straight, really, on that. And also, anybody out there thinking of conspiring to murder, rape, kidnap, shit like that, stop it. It's against the law. Thank you very much for listening.